Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! The once welcoming walls of the therapy room seemed to enclose around them, the air thick with anticipation and anxiety. As the therapist proposed her latest treatment idea, Angelo's chest tightened as if the mere suggestion of it was an unbearable weight. I have to go clothes shopping? Angelo's voice cracked, his eyes darting around the room as if seeking escape. Dr. Kent, serene and composed as always, leaned forward, her eyes soft and encouraging behind her gold-rimmed glasses. You've made incredible progress, Angelo. I truly believe this will be a significant step forward. Your anxiety around your gender expression is perfectly understandable, but it's also holding you back from living authentically. Angel's fingers twisted the hem of the plain blue button-down shirt that hung loosely over narrow shoulders. Too masculine. Always too masculine. The brown loafers and tan slacks completed what had become a uniform of sorts. Safe, unremarkable men's clothing that never quite felt right. I can't just walk into a store and... Angel's voice cracked. People will stare. They'll know. They'll know what? Dr. Martin's voice remained gentle. That you're shopping? That's all anyone else will see. Someone making a purchase. But a bra? That's so... intimate. The word alone made Angel's cheeks burn. Dr. Martin leaned forward slightly. I'm suggesting this particular item because it's a meaningful step for you. We've discussed how affirming it would feel to have proper undergarments rather than ordering online and being disappointed when things don't fit correctly. Angel stared at the floor, auburn hair falling forward to shield burning cheeks. It had grown just past the ears in recent months, not long enough to be definitively feminine, but no longer the shortcut maintained for years out of obligation rather than preference. There's a small boutique on Maple Street, Dr. Martin continued. Intimate Essentials. The owner, Marina, is transgender herself and has created a safe space specifically for people in various stages of transition or exploration. The session ended with a homework assignment that made Angel's stomach twist into knots. 1 week, 7 days to gather the courage to walk into that store and ask for help buying a bra. For 6 days, Angel drove past the boutique, slowing down to study the modest storefront with its tasteful window display of mannequins in silky robes and elegant sleepwear. Each time, palms sweating against the steering wheel, Angel would continue driving, promise broken yet again. On the 7th day, dressed in the usual blue shirt and tan slacks, Angel sat in the parked car across the street for 45 minutes, watching people enter and leave the store. Most were women, but occasionally men entered too, presumably buying gifts. That thought provided a thin cover of plausible deniability. Just go in, look around. You don't have to buy anything today. The pep talk did little to slow a racing heart. The bell above the door chimed softly as Angel stepped inside, immediately enveloped by the scent of lavender and the gentle instrumental music playing through hidden speakers. The boutique was mercifully empty of other customers. Welcome to Intimate Essentials! The voice belonged to a tall woman with a warm smile and elegant posture. Her copper-toned dress complemented her dark complexion beautifully. I'm Marina. Can I help you find something? Angel froze, throat suddenly bone dry. I'm just looking. Marina nodded, understanding reflected in her eyes. Take your time. We have a lovely selection of items on the far wall that are particularly popular. If you have any questions, I'm here. She retreated behind the counter, allowing Angel space to breathe again. The next 15 minutes were spent circling the store, touching fabrics, checking prices, building courage with each passing moment. Eventually, Angel approached the counter, voice barely audible. I would like to buy a bra for myself. I don't know how to. Marina's expression didn't change. No judgment or surprise crossing her features. Of course. Would you like some assistance with sizing and styles? Relief flooded through Angel's body. Yes, please. I don't know where to start. Let's begin with something simple and comfortable. Marina moved around the counter. Cotton is wonderful for everyday wear, especially for beginners. Less irritation against the skin. She led Angel to a display of basic bras in various neutral colors. These are our most popular starter styles. Would you prefer something plain or with a bit of detail? Angel's fingers trembled as they reached out to touch a white cotton bra with delicate embroidery along the edges. This one is pretty. Excellent choice. Now, for sizing. Marina looked at Angel thoughtfully. We'll need measurements. Would you be comfortable with me helping, or would you prefer to measure yourself in the fitting room? The thought of either option sent a fresh wave of panic through Angel's chest. Maybe the fitting room? Marina handed over a soft measuring tape. Of course. There are instructions posted inside if you need them. I'll gather a few sizes for you to try. The fitting room was small but comfortable, with a padded bench and hooks for clothing. Angel's hands shook while unbuttoning the blue shirt, revealing a flat chest that had always felt incomplete. Following the illustrated instructions proved difficult with trembling fingers, but eventually measurements were taken and relayed to Marina through the curtain. She returned moments later with 3 white cotton bras. Try these and see which feels best. The middle hook is usually good to start with. You'll want some room to adjust either way. Alone again, Angel stared at the undergarments laid out on the bench. This moment, this simple act of trying on a bra, represented everything that had been suppressed for so long. Tears welled up unexpectedly. This shouldn't be so hard. This shouldn't feel so monumental. The first attempt was awkward, arms contorting to reach the clasps in the back. Minutes passed in frustrating struggle, hands shaking too severely to connect the hooks and eyes. Sweat beaded on Angel's forehead, breath coming in short gasps. In a moment of overwhelming frustration, an elbow struck the wall, directly on the emergency assistance button installed for customer safety. A soft buzz sounded outside, and Marina's concerned voice came through the curtain. Is everything all right in there? Mortification washed over Angel like ice water. I'm sorry, I hit the button by accident. I can't get it fastened. There was a pause. Would you like some help? I can show you a technique that might be easier. Please, came the whispered response. Marina carefully stepped into the fitting room, maintaining professional distance.
Many people fasten it in front first, then rotate it around and put their arms through the straps. Like this.
She demonstrated with her hands, not touching Angel or the garment. It takes practice. With Marina's patient guidance, the bra was finally secured properly. The sensation was foreign, but oddly comforting, like a piece that had been missing was finally in place. How does it feel? Marina asked. Angel stared at the reflection in the mirror. The white cotton with its subtle embroidery looked right against pale skin, complementing the auburn hair. For the first time, the person in the mirror was beginning to align with the person inside. It feels correct. The words came out choked with emotion. Marina smiled. That's how it should feel. Would you like to take this one? We can find others once you're more comfortable with the sizing. Angel nodded, unable to speak past the lump in the throat. I'll let you change. Take your time. Marina slipped out, closing the curtain behind her. 10 minutes later, dressed once more in the blue shirt and tan slacks, but with the white bra carefully concealed underneath, Angel approached the register. The simple purchase represented a tremendous victory. Marina placed the bra in a discreet bag after removing the tags. Thank you for trusting us with this moment. The first step is often the hardest. Thank you for making it possible. Angel accepted the bag, feeling surprisingly lighter. I was terrified. We all start somewhere, Marina said with understanding. My door is always open when you're ready for the next step. Walking back to the car, Angel felt a subtle shift. Something fundamental had changed. The weight of the small bag seemed to contain infinite possibility. 3 months passed in a blur of small, brave steps. Angel's wardrobe gradually expanded beyond blue shirts and tan slacks, incorporating soft sweaters in pastel colors and jeans cut for a more feminine silhouette. The auburn hair grew longer, now brushing slender shoulders and often styled with delicate pins. Each therapy session with Dr. Martin became a celebration of progress rather than an exercise in confronting fears. The name Angel itself underwent a transformation, softened and extended to Annabelle after weeks of careful consideration. The morning of her return to Intimate Essentials dawned bright and clear. Annabelle stood before her mirror, studying the reflection with critical but increasingly kind eyes. The yellow sundress with its sweetheart neckline and knee-length hem had been an online purchase, still too nervous to try on dresses in store fitting rooms. But it fit beautifully, highlighting the subtle curves that 3 months of proper undergarments had helped create. Her makeup was minimal but effective. Foundation to soften the jawline, mascara to enhance naturally long lashes, and a touch of tinted lip balm. The auburn hair was pulled back with a white headband, revealing earrings that caught the light when she moved. You can do this, she whispered to her reflection. The person staring back was finally becoming whole. The drive to the boutique felt different this time. Anticipation rather than dread, making her heart beat faster. She parked directly in front, no longer needing to hide across the street. The same bell chimed as she entered, and the familiar scent of lavender welcomed her. 2 other customers browsed nightwear displays, paying her no attention. Marina looked up from arranging a display, recognition dawning in her eyes. Her smile was radiant. Well, look at you. Annabelle approached the counter, conscious of how different her walk had become. More fluid, more authentic. I wanted to come back and thank you properly. You look absolutely lovely, Marina said, genuine approval in her voice. That yellow is perfect with your coloring. I wouldn't be wearing it without your help that day. Annabelle set her white purse on the counter. I was such a mess. You must have thought I was crazy when I hit that emergency button. Marina laughed warmly. Hardly. I've seen much more dramatic first fittings, believe me. Besides, look how far you've come. I've been thinking about that day a lot. Annabelle's fingers traced patterns on the counter surface. How your kindness made something terrifying feel manageable. I wanted you to see the result. Annabelle suits you, Marina observed. You seem comfortable in your skin now. Getting there. Some days are harder than others, but... She gestured to her appearance. This feels right. It always did, underneath everything else. Marina came around the counter. I have something to show you. We just received our spring collection, and there's a particular set I think would complement your coloring beautifully. She led Annabelle to a new display featuring coordinated underwear sets in various spring colors. Among them was a pale green set with delicate floral embroidery that echoed the simple white bra from 3 months ago, but with more refinement. This would be lovely with your auburn hair, Marina suggested. Much more confident than plain white, but still elegant. Annabelle touched the material, appreciating the craftsmanship. It's beautiful. Would you like to try it? The question hung between them, another threshold to cross. Annabelle took a deep breath. Yes, I would. This time, the fitting room didn't feel confining. This time, her hands remained steady as she changed. This time, when she looked in the mirror, the reflection showed someone becoming whole. Marina knocked softly. How does it fit? Annabelle opened the curtain, no longer afraid to be seen. The pale green set fit perfectly, making her feel both beautiful and authentic. It's perfect. As I thought. Marina nodded approvingly. You have good instincts for what suits you. After changing back into the yellow sundress, Annabelle purchased the set along with 2 others in complementary colors. I'm proud of you, Marina said as she handed over the bag. Not everyone finds the courage you've shown. I still have a long way to go, Annabelle admitted. But for the first time, I'm excited about the journey instead of terrified. That's the real transformation, Marina replied. Not the clothes or the name, but the freedom to be yourself without apology. Leaving the store, Annabelle paused to look at her reflection in the window. The yellow sundress caught the breeze, and the woman staring back at her smiled. Tentative, but real. Summer turned to fall, and Annabelle's evolution continued. Her therapist suggested joining a support group, which initially triggered the old anxiety, but proved invaluable. Through these new connections, she met people at various stages of their own journeys, finding community and understanding she hadn't known was possible. One crisp October morning, she sat in Dr. Martin's office wearing a rust-colored sweater dress that complemented her auburn hair, now long enough to brush the middle of her back. You've made remarkable progress, Dr. Martin observed, reviewing her notes. How are you feeling about work? Have you given more thought to when you might want to transition there? Annabelle crossed her legs, adjusting the hem of her dress. Actually, that's what I wanted to discuss today. I've decided it's time. What made you reach this decision now? Living 2 separate lives is exhausting, Annabelle explained. Being myself everywhere except where I spend most of my waking hours feels increasingly wrong. Plus, Thanksgiving is coming up, and I'd rather not hear Angel and he at the company dinner again this year. Dr. Martin nodded. Have you considered how you want to approach it? I've scheduled a meeting with HR for next week. They have policies in place, apparently. I'm not the first. She smiled slightly. I also spoke with Marina about it. The boutique owner? You've maintained that connection? She's become a friend and mentor. She transitioned at work 10 years ago and had some practical advice. Dr. Martin made a note. Having someone who's walked this path before you is invaluable. How are you feeling about the meeting? Nervous, but resolved. I can't move forward authentically while hiding who I am 8 hours a day. And your family? Any progress there? Annabelle's expression tightened slightly. My sister has been amazing. My parents, they're trying in their way. Mom still slips and calls me Angel, then apologizes profusely. Dad barely speaks to me, but he hasn't disowned me, so I count that as a small victory. These adjustments take time for everyone involved, Dr. Martin reminded her. Your patience with them shows tremendous growth on your part. A year ago, I couldn't even buy a bra without having a panic attack, Annabelle said with a small laugh. Now I'm planning to walk into my office as myself. Sometimes I don't recognize my own courage. You should. You've earned it. After the session, Annabelle drove to Intimate Essentials. The boutique had become a sanctuary of sorts, a place where her transformation had begun and continued to be celebrated. Marina was helping another customer when Annabelle entered, but waved in recognition. Browsing the displays, Annabelle felt none of the anxiety that had once paralyzed her. Shopping for feminine clothing had become normal, even enjoyable. When the other customer left, Marina approached with a warm smile. Twice in 1 week? To what do I owe this pleasure? I'm meeting with HR next Wednesday about transitioning at work, Annabelle explained. I need something professional, but distinctly feminine. First impressions matter. Marina's expression brightened. That's wonderful news! Let me think. She surveyed Annabelle thoughtfully. A structured dress would be perfect. Something that says, confident, professional woman. She led Annabelle to a rack of work-appropriate dresses. This navy sheath dress would be stunning with your coloring. Pair it with a cream blazer for a softer touch. I trust your judgment completely, Annabelle said, remembering the terrified person who had first entered this store. Your eye for what suits me has never been wrong. While Marina gathered accessories to complement the outfit, Annabelle shared her nervous excitement about the upcoming meeting. The hardest part is making the decision, Marina assured her. The rest is just details. Did you ever imagine, that first day when I could barely speak, that we'd be here discussing my workplace transition? Annabelle asked. Marina smiled. I saw possibility in you, even then, especially when you kept coming back, each time a little stronger, a little more yourself. I hit the emergency button because I couldn't fasten a bra, Annabelle reminded her with a laugh. Hardly the mark of someone destined for bravery. Courage isn't about starting without fear, Marina countered. It's about moving forward despite it. You've been doing that consistently since that first day. Annabelle tried on the navy dress, admiring how it created a feminine silhouette while remaining appropriate for her conservative workplace. This is perfect. You'll make quite the impression, Marina agreed. How do you feel about accessories? A simple necklace would complete the look. They selected a silver pendant that added a touch of elegance without being ostentatious. At the register, Marina added a small package to the bag. What's this? Annabelle asked. A gift. Something to remind you of your strength when you walk into that meeting. Later at home, Annabelle opened the small package to find a delicate bracelet with a charm shaped like a fitting room door. Attached was a note in Marina's elegant handwriting. Every journey begins with opening a door. Proud of you. M. The HR meeting went better than expected. Company policies were explained clearly, a timeline was established, and by Thanksgiving, Annabelle's colleagues would be officially introduced to her authentic self. Her direct supervisor expressed sincere support, having noticed her increasing confidence over recent months. Preparations moved swiftly. Email addresses and nameplates were updated. The small team Annabelle supervised was briefed separately. their reactions ranging from confusion to immediate acceptance. The night before her first day presenting as Annabelle at work, she hardly slept. The navy dress and cream blazer hung ready on her closet door. Every possible scenario played through her mind, from complete acceptance to devastating rejection. Morning arrived after fitful sleep. Annabelle dressed carefully, applied her makeup with extra attention, and styled her auburn hair in loose waves. The silver pendant and bracelet from Marina completed the ensemble. Standing before her mirror, she barely recognized the person who had once hidden behind blue shirts and tan slacks. The woman reflected back was poised, professional, and unmistakably herself.
"You can do this,"
she whispered, touching the bracelet for reassurance. The drive to work felt surreal. The same route she had taken for 5 years suddenly seemed unfamiliar. Parking in her usual space, she sat for a moment, gathering courage. "Just another door to open," she reminded herself, thinking of Marina's gift. Walking through the building's main entrance, Annabelle felt eyes turn toward her, not with judgment, but with curiosity. She had prepared for questions, for awkwardness, for potential hostility. What she hadn't prepared for was the simple nod of recognition from the security guard who had known her for years. "Morning, Ms. Reynolds," he said, as if nothing had changed. "Good morning, Frank," she replied, voice steady despite her racing heart. The elevator ride to the 4th floor seemed endless. When the doors opened, her department stretched before her, familiar yet now foreign territory. The HR director waited near her office, as planned. "Ready?" she asked kindly. Annabelle nodded. "As I'll ever be." The team meeting had been scheduled specifically for this moment. 20 colleagues gathered in the conference room, murmuring curiously about the unusual start to the week. The HR director opened the meeting, explaining simply that their colleague had an important announcement. Then she stepped aside, giving Annabelle the floor. Standing before them in her navy dress, Annabelle felt her prepared speech evaporate. Instead, she spoke from her heart. "Most of you have known me for years as Angel. Today, I'm introducing you to the person I've always been inside. My name is Annabelle Reynolds, and I'm transgender. This transition has been ongoing in my personal life for some time, and with the company's support, I'm now bringing my authentic self to work as well." The silence that followed felt eternal. Then James from accounting spoke up. "Does this mean you'll finally join the women's team for the Interdepartmental Softball League? Because we could use someone who can actually hit a ball." The tension broke as laughter rippled through the room. Questions followed, some thoughtful, some awkward, all sincere. By the time the meeting ended, Annabelle felt something she hadn't expected. Relief. The day passed in a blur of conversations and adjustments. There were stumbles. A few colleagues struggled with pronouns, and one client on a video call was visibly confused. But by afternoon, a new normal was establishing itself. As the office emptied for the day, Annabelle remained at her desk, processing the momentous shift that had just occurred. Her computer chimed with a new email from the company's CEO, whom she had never directly interacted with.
"Ms. Reynolds,"
it read. "HR informed me of your transition. I wanted to personally commend your courage and assure you of the company's full support. My door is open if you encounter any difficulties. Respectfully, Elizabeth Chen." Tears welled in Annabelle's eyes. The simple acknowledgement from the highest level of the company felt like the final validation of a journey that had begun with trembling hands in a small boutique fitting room. Pulling herself together, she gathered her belongings and headed for the elevator. As the doors closed, She caught her reflection in the polished metal. A professional woman in a navy dress, heading home after a successful day at work. Outside the building, the autumn air felt crisp against her skin. On impulse, she drove to Intimate Essentials, wanting to share the day's victory with the person who had witnessed her first tentative steps. Marina was closing up when Annabelle arrived, but waved her inside. "Just in time. How did it go?" "Better than I could have imagined," Annabelle said, the events of the day spilling out in excited detail. "I kept touching your bracelet whenever I felt nervous. It really helped." "I'm not surprised they accepted you," Marina said, turning the boutique's sign to closed. "You've done the hard work of accepting yourself. That authenticity shows." "I brought something for you." Annabelle handed over a small gift bag. "A thank you for everything." Inside was a framed photograph of Annabelle in her yellow sundress from 6 months prior, alongside a current picture in her navy work dress. The inscription read, "Through open doors, eternally grateful. A." Marina studied the images, visibly moved. "The transformation is remarkable." "Not just the outside," Annabelle said softly. 3 months ago, I returned to thank you for helping with my first bra. Today, I'm thanking you for helping me find myself." Marina placed the frame carefully on the counter. "Would you like to celebrate properly? There's a cafe around the corner that stays open late." They walked together in the evening light, 2 women discussing life's ordinary and extraordinary moments. As they settled at a corner table with steaming cups of tea, Annabelle realized another milestone had been reached, the ability to simply exist in the world as herself, without constant fear or self-consciousness. "A year ago, I couldn't have imagined this," she admitted, watching people pass by the cafe window. "Sitting in public, dressed as myself, after a day of being Annabelle at work." "And now?" Marina asked. Annabelle smiled, touching the bracelet at her wrist. "Now I can't imagine going back. Every door I've opened has led to somewhere better." "There will be more doors," Marina reminded her. "Some harder to open than others." "I know, but I'm not afraid of them anymore." Annabelle took a sip of her tea, feeling the warmth spread through her chest. "I'm curious about what's on the other side." Outside, autumn leaves danced in the evening breeze, their transformation complete and beautiful. Annabelle watched them with newfound appreciation, recognizing her own journey in their graceful descent, letting go of what no longer served to become what they were always meant to be.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!